Can eras build a greater fan community or not?
I love this question.
Welcome to Unpacked,
A series where we break down the big stuff that's been living in your head rent-free.
and we make it more manageable.
Hi, I'm Eva,
And I'm Tom.
and today we're unpacking errors.
Where did they come from?
Why do artists use them?
And what are the secrets of the industry?
Okay, so let's take a look at what is in the box.
What is in the box?
We have got a clock.
Clock. Is it set to midnight?
It is set to midnight, which may represent one of Taylor Swift's many errors, midnights. Anyway, what is an error? An error is basically what an artist uses when they're wanting to put out new music to attract attention, attract new fans, but also keep the attention of old fans who might possibly be getting bored. I would say there's two main elements to it. So there is hype and there is nostalgia. And with hype, that's basically where you want new people to come in. Maybe people who haven't listened to you before, maybe you're trying a new genre. So you're capturing like a whole different demographic. So you want to kind of generate hype, and that's what an error does. And then there's nostalgia, which errors can tap into. So obviously the main one that comes to mind is the Eras Tour by Taylor Swift. So that North American leg alone, I think generated like over $1 billion. So obviously people are very into that.
Yeah.
And you want to be able to associate an era or an album or a particular song.
Just like a memory.
Yeah,
right?
with times
like
in your
time,
life.
Yeah.
It's tapping into that nostalgia.
Like a time that you remember, or a time of like an artist?
I think
both.
Yeah, definitely a bit
That's
of both.
kind of more nostalgia though, isn't it?
Yeah, no, well, it's like your own personal experiences with a song. So like Taylor Swift, when she opens the Fearless leg of her tour, she always says, will you come back to high school with me? Because she was in high school when she put the albums out. So it kind of makes the fans feel like they can bond with her a little bit. It creates that sense of connection, but it also, you can attach your own memories.
Yeah, also something you're going through during that period of when she was at high school.
So it's that reinventing yourself, but there's a very fine line between getting it right and appearing new and shiny and exciting and taking it too far, perhaps like, you know, what happened with Miley Cyrus and Wrecking Ball.
You're right to say the term eras, I think, has been brought up and popularized recently because of them.
Yeah, like definitely like stan culture on Twitter. I feel like that's where eras became
Exactly. But there was definitely eras before those artists.
Yeah, for sure.
Right, so Eva, what is in the box for our next point?
Let's take a look.
We have Taylor Swift's 1989 album.
Iconic album, just saying.
We know eras nowadays as Taylor Swift, Olivia Rodrigo, BTS. And I was doing a little bit of research as to the history of eras in the music industry. And everybody was saying on these forums that it was either Madonna or David Bowie that were the ones that started off creating new styles of music, also changing their fashion sense as the years go on. I mean, with David Bowie, I wasn't born, so I can't really speak too much, but 1960s was his fashion era where he was known for that smart gentleman style look of suits and smart shoes and everything. And then you go to 1970s and he's testing his looks with eyeliner and changing his styles of music and experimenting with different things. And people love this unique style and this change of style with his music as time went on. I feel like he's a very good prime example of somebody who started off using that as a marketing tool to build a fan base and gain popularity in his music.
Yeah, it's such a good point, because you do think about eras, you think about basically from like Beyonce or Taylor Swift onwards, but it's been going on for such a long time. And even before we had artists defining their own kind of personal eras, there was each decade kind of assigned itself its own musical era. So like 70s was like very much disco, or 80s was like everything was synth pop, and then 90s was a bit more hip hop. But I think as well, kind of early 90s, maybe early 2000s is when artists really started, like you said, like defining their own eras and switching up their looks for every album, because that is when the market, I guess, became so oversaturated. Everyone was doing it. Everyone wanted to be pop stars. Everyone was kind of doing the same thing. So they had to find a way to stand out, I guess.
Which could be another way of how this new word of eras has kind of evolved.
And you said like Madonna was one of the first people to really kind of take that and make it her own thing. She's doing her own version of the Eras Tour, which is really, really interesting. So obviously she's going to have a lot more than Taylor Swift. But it's just, it proves that this kind of concept, this theory of the eras, it stands the testament of time.
Exactly.
Because how long has it been going on for? Longer than we've been alive.
Yeah. It's interesting you bring up Madonna, because obviously she's been around for decades and she must be earning a lot of money, especially even now from these recent tours, if not more money than she ever was.
Yeah, definitely. And money is a big part of why eras are even a thing.
What is in the box?
Money.
£200 in fake money.
Have you counted it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I was going to take it afterwards, but it didn't look real enough. So I was like, nope.
Money is the main reason that eras even exist. In fact, it's probably the only reason, I would say. Like, there's so many different ways that artists make money off of eras. So I think the main thing is like physical album sales, obviously. So like 1989, Reputation, having these albums also different from each other, different genres. You know, in 2014, Taylor decided to leave country behind and she moved to pop. But now we're seeing Beyonce. She is about to release a country album. Lana Del Rey is also about to release a country album. So again, it's that whole concept of newness. And Beyonce is going to attract some country music fans who wouldn't have usually listened to her. And then in turn, when Taylor switched to pop, that's such a bigger sea to take fish from, if that makes sense. So way more fans and way more possibilities in terms of money. So it's like having that ability. Obviously Taylor's versions, going back and re-recording. For her, it's a little bit different. So that is so she can own the music. So when it's used in films or whatever, she gets the money and she gets credited for it, which she wouldn't currently do. But it's old in the sense that it was written when Taylor was going through whatever she was going through in 2014, but also whatever the fans were going through in 2014. If it was like starting university or falling in love for the first time, whatever it may be. And then there is the merch. Merch generates so much money. It's crazy.
I didn't really know that though.
Yeah. So I don't know if you've heard about the Taylor Swift cardigan.
I haven't.
So basically in her folklore era, she released this cardigan. It was limited edition. We're going for like £50 at the time or whatever. And then they ended up being resold on eBay for thousands and thousands of pounds and dollars afterwards. But since then, every album that she's released, she's re-released the cardigan, but just so if it was for 1989, she'd re-release it in blue or
just to make more money.
Just to make more money, but it's crazy.
And it works.
Yeah, it works. It's insane. And I feel like Olivia Rodrigo, her merch it's a bit more fashiony than, like, it's not her name like spelt across the front.
First of all, I've never seen people wear this type of merch anywhere. And second of all, do these merch sales do more than a lot of their other income streams, like tours?
That's honestly so true. Like,
do you know what I mean?
I go to concerts or an album comes out and I will buy a jumper or buy a t-shirt. I use them as pajamas or when I'm going on a run. And that's really it. Like, I would
run.
Yeah, I don't know, if I need a jumper, if I want a Taylor Swift.
Why not in public though? Do you just buy it to support the artist, even though they've got a lot of money?
And it's just memories, isn't it? Again, it's that nostalgia thing. But merch can sometimes be quite ugly. It's very in your face.
So obviously we're talking about merch sales, tour sales, and artists making a lot of money because of these eras. In general, bar Taylor Swift, bar all these massive people, can eras build a greater fan community or not?
I love this question. Well, what is in the box?
In the box, we got a Taylor Swift eras tour merch. Oh. This is not mine. This is yours.
Top tier merch.
I think it's safe to say. Let's put it there.
She looks beautiful.
So, do eras create a greater fan community? I think yes and no. But just in my opinion, there are other artists. Think about like 2012 throwback songs. And I think there's a lot of artists I can name which I would have listened to then, but not now, which I think makes it a bit of a risky business to change styles. Like, for example, Katy Perry. I'll just say it. Raw. Used to listen to that when I was a kid. Do I listen to Katy Perry now? No. Is that because she changed style? Is that because she changed her type of music? I don't know. You have like literally hit the nail on the head. I feel like Katy Perry is such a good example. It was when she cut her hair really short and bleached it and kind of switched up her music style a little bit. She also got a little bit political with a few songs. I think it was The Witness. I think that was the name of the album or the era. And obviously we got Beyonce as well, which she's done a little bit before, but it's just still... I remember Beyonce for her old songs. I personally haven't listened to her, like, not new album. If we're talking about fan relationships, we have to talk about the relationship between Miley Cyrus and her fans after she released Wrecking Ball and she had that famous VMA performance. So she was seen as the dream pop girly, Disney girly. And then she came and she released Wrecking Ball because she obviously really wanted people to take her perhaps a bit more seriously, a bit more grown up. There was just outrage. Like, she lost so many fans. She also gained loads of fans. She gained a huge queer community and a queer following from that song and from that album. It's risky business because it's like, you have to be new to us, but we don't want you to be too new that it's like shocking and awful. So how do you do it right? I think Billie Eilish is a good example of someone who's done it relatively right. Yeah, for sure. Has had a little hiccups every now and then. She's changed since obviously Ocean Eyes when she was like 13, but I still think she's somebody who's massively hot in the game, who's transitioned so well. And I know earlier we were talking about Ed Sheeran and how he's tried so many genres, so many, and he does it well, to be fair, every time. Yeah, and he's still breaking records. And he's still hot. Yeah, but he hasn't really changed his style, like his style, his sense-wise. He's still Ed Sheeran. Yeah. But why is that? Well, I think this is going to take us on to our next point, which is secrets of the industry. Okay, let's see what we have in the box. What is in the box? The thing we got in the box is
A padlock.
a padlock. Now, before we get into anything, I have scrambled up the padlock. I've locked the padlock with a code, and you've got to work it out. Now, it's something to do with eras, and it's something to do with Taylor Swift.
Eras and Taylor Swift.
Yep.
And numbers.
And a number.
You've just made that so easy for
okay.
me.
Yeah, I ruined
So
it all.
easy.
I ruined it all. Come on, what do you think it is?
1989. Duh.
I ruined it. I completely ruined
Sorry,
that.
this is going to take me... Is it?
Oh, is it not? There we go.
Yay! Okay, right. Secrets of the errors industry. Sorry. Okay, so yes, Ed Sheeran, you said he's transitioned his musical style so many times. He's done so many different genres. He's never really changed his look. And he's never really gotten out from behind the guitar. But why? And why are women doing it a lot more and constantly having to change their looks, change their hair, change their costumes?
Is that a fact?
The way they perform. Think about it. Think about like,
I mean, true.
Madonna, Beyonce, Lana, Taylor, obviously. Dua Lipa has had this huge retransformation recently.
But then you say women change their styles a lot more, but recently we have been seeing a lot of men dive into that. Like Machine Gun Kelly, always wearing crazy outfits and red carpets. Harry Styles has shaved his head, and he's also had a lot of controversy for things that he's worn. So we are seeing it, but not as much. I do agree with you. Not as much.
The key word you said was controversy.
And then you look at people like Central C, rapper, turns up at the red carpet with a tracksuit on.
Can you imagine if Taylor Swift or Beyonce did that?
Dua Lipa turns up. It just
I know. It just shows the kind of double standard. Men aren't really expected to or wanted to.
Is that to do with audiences though? Like, does a male artist attract a different audience where they don't like too much change? I know as a man, I don't like much change.
Maybe.
Well, I don't know.
That's
do you like
theory.
a lot of change? I don't know. Comment down below and let us know, because I'm interested to know.
That is, I've never really thought about it like that.
But you are right in saying, going to these award shows and turning up in a new look or a new outfit, it's top of the headlines. The best way to create any hype for marketing.
Dye your hair.
Dye your hair.
Yeah.
Literally.
Honestly,
or just wear a bizarre outfit.
Like Camila Cabello has just gone blonde, and it's all anyone can talk about. And she is releasing new music soon. So it works. Without a doubt, it works.
What other ways are there?
All you have to have for a new era is a new look and new music. And also to just tell the media and tell the public, like, it's a completely new sound. Like, no one has ever heard this from them before, which Dua Lipa is very much pushing that narrative right now. Like,
always makes headlines.
Also, I've just remembered the Instagram wipeout. The first one I can remember is Taylor Swift. But it's probably, there was the first one that came to my attention. She like deleted everything. And then she just slowly released 3 pictures that made a snake. And that was the start of the Reputation era. It's having like a theme, like it was very thematic, like black and white, snakes, like angst, I hate the world, I hate the media and stuff like that. So it's finding a theme, it's finding a look, and it's trying something new, if that's like a new instrument or dancing or...
And do you think if the artist listens to the fans, then that will can come together as a...
Yeah.
But that's what makes a successful era, you could say.
Fans really like to feel listened to. Like when it's the dream thing, isn't it? You want the artist to feel like they know you exist, or that they care about what you think, which they probably do, to be fair. It's just making the fans feel included.
That's what Blackpink have done very well, I think. Their non-stop music tours and trying new things, and their fans love them because of it.
Well, the box is now empty.
Yep, the box is now completely empty. Let us know what you want to unpack, and subscribe for the next episode of Unpacked.